When is the EcoBoost Mach-E coming out? No,
the Mach-E.
I'm glad I shut that down because that was a fun discussion.
They
Anyway,
had
next thing.
Lightning, they had Galaxy, they had Fusion.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why Mustang?
I talked to the guy behind it for a long time trying to get that answer.
Can you translate?
Yeah, I mean, for a question that they definitely should have seen coming, the answer was not that clear. So what I asked him is like, they talked about, it's about affordable performance, but Ford makes a lot of affordable performance cars.
The Fiesta is also about affordable performance.
And it's not a Mustang. So I was like, the Focus RS has an engine that also goes in a Mustang. It has, the same all-wheel drive type setup as a Mach-E. Why is that not a Mustang? And this is. And he said that there's a soul and there is an undescribable...
Oh no, the Focus RS has no soul and this electric crossover
It doesn't have the Mustang soul, apparently.
Listen, that's a terrible excuse.
It wasn't great.
Well, we did. So you got a thing that said it's not good for sustained track use.
Yes.
And the Performance Pack 2 overheats its diff after like 5 laps on a track.
Well,
So
that's it. Also,
I hope
in its
Ford's
current
not listening
state,
to this.
In its current state, it can't do burnouts. It can't fully defeat traction control. So we asked about that, and he didn't know. The chief engineer said it couldn't, and then the guy in charge of the development project said it could, and they hadn't talked. Somehow.
What part specifically is Mustang on this?
The badge? No, that's not true. The badge isn't even the same. It's slightly different. So,
is there seats? Seats for
I mean,
Mustang?
is there like the interior's vegan, so I'm doubting the regular Mustang is vegan.
Where is Bozy when you need him? Because then we can find
what parts are shared with any other Mustang.
Bozy, if you're listening to this right now, please send me a text with what parts of the Mach-E and the Mustang are shared.
Yeah, the only part he said that kind of
a solid axle. In order to celebrate the heritage,
it's got a solid
chain
axle.
drive or something like that.
Yeah, he said the thing about it that made it more Mustang than like a Focus RS is that it is
the grill.
Its own thing, not a performance version of another car. But he also said Mustangs are about being authentic and that they wouldn't have fake vents, which Mustangs have definitely had fake vents. But I was like, what about that grill?
No, he didn't actually say that.
That's
horseshit.
He said it's authentic and like you wouldn't see a fake vent on a new Mustang.
A Ford person said to you that you wouldn't see a fake vent on a Mustang?
Yes.
These people need to talk to each other.
They also they have to rationalize it to themselves because it was somebody in sales who was like, if we throw a Mustang badge on this thing, we'll actually make some money, and then that dictated everything.
It's just, I don't know, man.
They also didn't know the Mustangs crashing at Cars and Coffee meme. They'd never heard of it.
Oh, guys.
I feel like that one's a lie.
Yeah.
I feel like they knew that.
No, okay. There was one guy that like laughed at it, and but there was like three guys who were just like, "What are you talking about?" And we showed them videos like, "Oh, that's wait, people think Mustangs do that specifically?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, all right."
There's no way they just heard about that.
Yeah,
that's
they didn't
the
just
company
hear about
meeting.
that from you 2 days ago or yesterday or how long is this trip? Oh, but you might not have a hotel room
I've been
anymore,
here
actually.
since I was born, basically at this point.
Yeah.
I really feel like that the name undermines how cool it is.
It's a good-looking
cool.
car,
Right. It's
right?
cool.
Yeah.
And it's cool on its
really
own.
good.
Well, because the
That's-
conversation is about the bastardization of the nameplate,
Yeah.
right? It's nothing about the content of the
I don't even know anything about it.
I don't
All
know
I've
anything
ever
about
talked
it.
about
How big is the
It's
battery?
only bitching about the name at this point.
98.7 kilowatt, 99.
I couldn't give
just
you a
under
spec.
100.
Okay.
No.
Just
Yeah.
that it's named wrong. That's
Yes.
all I can tell you
Yeah.
about it.
Because I live with Ford now, I can give you the specs if you need them.
Yes.
So it's 300 miles of range and like a 99 point something kilowatt battery. Like it's lots of good things. It can fast charge at like 12,000 stations.
Okay, so
but it's
already
not a Mustang.
it's not Mustang, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
nobody leads into their Mustang conversation with like, well, with a full tank of gas, the range is 402 miles, buddy.
Oh,
Get a load of that.
0 to
Get a
60
load of this
is
vegan interior, though.
0 to 60 is mid 3 seconds. They said, but
Okay.
it still can't do burnouts. So what are we
It
doing
can
here?
if they just on the keyboard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they don't want to because
he said
people
it probably
crash.
will be able to by the time it comes out. Which why
Yeah.
is it unveiled a year early?
You could
Wait,
keep
when does it come out?
everything
Comes out
about it
next
except
fall.
the horses and the name. Everything else could stay.
They should have called it the Edgelord. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, they still have time.
They have like
there's still time to
futuristic
The
redeem.
things
GT
in
doesn't
their-
come out till spring
in their.
of
they have a
2021.
GT?
Yeah, the GT doesn't come out till
No,
spring
and
of
there's a
2021.
Pacific Coast Highway Edition or some shit.
California Route 1.
Man, imagine going to SFO, go on vacation, pick up your Mach-E with a panoramic roof, cruise on down Highway 1 to Silicon.
Vegan interior.
Just cruise on down there to LA, stopping for a charge 3-4 times.
Oh my God.
The Mustang Mach-E 405 edition
How
with a
much-
top speed of 3 miles an hour.
They put a charger in San Simeon and it costs like $80,000 to charge your car. There's no possible way to get around
Man,
it.
I can't wait for the Mustang 2 Mach-E.
Then they don't. They,
Or
and
the
they know
Shelby.
it reads Mache, right? It's
Well,
a
then
global
why does it have a
product.
hyphen? Why? It doesn't need a hyphen.
Wanted to keep its maiden name.
It's cheaper to make a badge when
Yes.
there's only.
Yes, it was the Mach. Man, they just called it Mach. Like, remember back at years, this was like 6 years ago when they said at the auto show they were going to build a electric crossover and call it the Mach 1.
Yeah.
Right? And everyone was all mad that they called it Mach 1, so instead of calling it the Mach 1, they just called it a Mustang instead.
Yeah.
It seems wrong.
So for companies that have spun off an individual model into a brand,
Yeah.
Edsel.
like or Ram or Viper,
Genesis.
how has that gone for really any of them?
Genesis won Motor Trend's
Genesis
car of the
is
year.
Rams doing
Oh,
it?
did it?
Ram's doing well.
At some one year, I don't.
No,
didn't
like
do
this
last
year was the Corvette.
Last year.
Last
Yeah,
year
yeah.
was
What were the
G70,
other
right?
two
Yeah.
this year?
This year was
Corvette.
huh?
Yeah, Kia.
Yeah,
I
but
was
the
just
other
curious
two, I
about
don't.
the SUV.
Well, are you
and-
Matt, are you asking to measure
Oh,
in
Ram
terms of
heavy
sales
duty.
or how it's been received?
How it's been received, really. Like
I still think of a Ram as a Dodge Ram,
I do too.
and no one can tell me that it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
It's- I guess-
I've never had an ill will towards that brand when the
Right.
truck showed up. I'm like, I like the truck. It's nice.
Yeah.
I don't go, why do they have to change the name? But this is very different.
I thought it was kind of a weird decision. I didn't really get it.
Well, it's
but
like
okay.
if
It's like the kids moving out because their parents got weird. Like Jeep's like, we're the most successful Fiat Chrysler company, so we're just going to be Jeep now. And then Ram's
Yeah.
like, we don't want to be associated with
Yeah.
the Dart.
Yeah.
And then I never understood the Viper one either.
well, that was when they made SRT its own brand, right?
yeah,
Because
it was more
and then
that, right?
so is that?
Oh,
but
yeah.
they were just putting the. It didn't make any sense because it was like the 300 SRT and then the Charger SRT and then the Viper was the SRT Viper.
Yeah. Has it
That's gone.
stayed? It has stayed because it's SRT Hellcat. I
But
think
it's not its own. It's not its own brand.
But
'cause
it's-
it's
yeah,
like
it's
the
still
Viper
got
folded
back,
back,
but
folded under
no.
Dodge.
It's Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat Red Eye.
But this is more of a form factor thing, right? Like the problem, like
body.
if they had taken a Mustang body and made it electric and badass, I don't think anybody would be complaining, right?
A Mustang
Oh, yes, they
Mach-E
would.
that was an
Would they?
electric Mustang, I think would make
a badass
more sense.
electric Mustang called Mach-E.
Yeah, like that
I
one
wouldn't really
Cosima that was
complain
like
about.
1,000 horsepower.
People will
That makes
complain
sense.
about anything.
Well,
Correct.
okay, sure,
Yes.
but the conversation being dominated by like what the fuckism is mostly because it's a
Yeah.
crossover shaped thing called Mustang, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
it's like that's the failure.
The word Ford appears 0 times on it. right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're going with that?
Yeah.
That's called pulling an Oldsmobile.
Yes.
Remember when they went Aurora and they
Yeah.
dropped the Oldsmobile from everything?
Yeah. Well, I think they think that Mustang has a lot of cachet and can be its own brand.
I think
Remember
they're probably right. And I read
They were right about
some
Aurora.
quote somewhere that said that a lot of people didn't identify Mustangs
Yeah.
as Fords, which makes people fucking stupid.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
don't understand that at all.
The Mustang, brought
like
to you by
Madonna.
Mustang.
Mustang.
Yeah.
Pure Mustang.
God.
I like what they've done with the interior, though. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly Tesla inspired.
Like the car's probably going to be good. It's probably going to be
It probably will be good.
Probably will. Probably will.
What's weird about the interior, though, is if you see the knob that's in the center, right now it's showing like a volume knob, and so they have a physical knob built into the touchscreen, which is really cool. Except right now it's just a volume knob. Like it has a screen in the middle, which makes it seem like it could do a bunch of other things or like be the fan
Oh, like
controller.
change
or whatever.
function.
No, it's a volume knob.
Oh,
That's
that's
it.
dumb.
But it's just built into the screen.
If it was like selectable, just scrolly radio
Right.
stations and volume, that
like
would be
JLR
awesome.
does it with like the weird heated
Yeah.
seats things or something. No, it's a volume knob, and that's what it does.
I always think
well-
that was clever for the heated seats.
Yeah, no, I,
like
think
it
that,
too.
I think it
Yeah.
is. I'm saying
Yeah.
if you're going to put a screen in it, it should probably do more than one thing. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
can just write volume.
Are you certain it can only do one thing?
Well, it can only do one thing right now. This system supports over-the-air updates, which is, their way of saying, well, if things are bad, we'll just change them after you get it.
That's nice.
That's good.
It's not like Honda where they ditched the volume knob, and
You
then
don't
had to do
need a knob.
1 year later they had to throw the knob back in the Accord and the
the
Civic,
2015
the
Accord is like
Ridgeline.
The
Yeah.
Civic didn't have the knob, and then
That's
they
right. Yeah.
The Civic I
And the
have right
Ridgeline,
now has
I
a
know.
knob. It's nice.
Yeah.
You can turn the volume up and down.
Because the clicking buttons on the Civic Si wheel were not good. They didn't
No.
feel good. They weren't fast enough.
Nope.
And you just
Yeah.
And they had that slidey finger
The slidey-
thing.
slidey things are no
yeah,
good.
nobody was in for that.
Why? There's some things that are just fine the way they are, right? That
Yes.
just have worked forever, and there's
Light
no reason to
switches,
change them. Yeah,
knobs.
switches,
Door handles.
knobs, door handles.
Another Mach-E problem.
You know, like
well, what's the Mach-E problem with the door handles?
Oh, okay. So,
no.
as per
Door
usual,
handle shot?
they make a sound of a
We've had
V8
it
starting
too
up
good,
when you push them.
too long. I think people have written articles about the door handle, so if you Google it, it'll come up because it's not in the press photos. But although you can kind of see there's not a normal door handle. There's a little metal, not like a little handle that pops out. That's not the door handle. That's a door pull. So what there actually is there's a little circle above that. You press that, it pops the door, then you do that. However, so it has phone as a key, which is the other thing. So the idea is you
I
walk
shit
up.
on that until I used it in a Model 3 for a week, and then I felt a little primitive going back. It's pretty sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. And they have a good backup.
If you're not going to have to put the key in and turn it,
Yeah.
you might as well just jump straight to phone.
Rather
Yeah.
than a fob.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Makes sense.
because
At
it's
this
a
point,
Ford.
it's
Yeah.
a reliable enough connection.
Why don't we have the
that you can jump straight?
Why don't we have like iPhone finger thing?
Isn't there someone who did have their Tesla key implanted in their arm?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
jeez.
person is an idiot.
and
Yeah.
probably dead.
They're
because
probably
they got
dead. Yeah.
infected.
Well,
So is this
Okay, there it
it's-
is. Okay, so the idea is you really
It's just a
shouldn't
little
have to
trim
press
piece?
that stuff because when you walk up with your phone in the pocket, it's supposed to auto pop for you. So it's going to pop out like an inch or so, and then you're going to grab the pull and open it. If that doesn't happen, you can press that little button, and that's also how you do the. It's a Ford, so it's got the keypad.
It has a keypad
It has the
still?
keypad.
That's
as-
great.
Yeah,
Yes.
as the
I love the
as
keypad.
the backup for
Love
if
it.
your phone's
Great.
dead.
The keypad is excellent.
So you
So it's got so many. Wait, does it have its own key too? Is there a key?
They would not confirm whether or not there would be a key.
No, there's always got to be
There's got to be a
backup.
key because there's a
There's
lot of
always
people who
a
don't have
backup.
smartphones.
Here's the backup. The backup is you type the key in for the out
Oh,
for
the code?
the code, and then inside you have another code that's a startup code. So if your phone's dead, you can then punch that in and it turns
like
on
that.
the car.
I like that better than a key.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually.
Here's the problem.
What worked in the Tesla was the credit card key backup.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
comforting, and
That's nice.
in to think about if your phone died, it was good
or
to
if
have
it's like
that.
icy or something.
Or
which-
like I gave it to my wife to take the car to the store.
Right.
Like
Right.
that actually worked pretty good.
So the big
Code is
problem
good, too.
is that so you have those little metal door pulls on the front. You don't have them on the back. So I swear to God,
How do you open the back door?
so
Guys,
you pop.
Here's why it's a Mustang. Only 2 doors, really.
So there's a little nub
Yeah.
above the rear door that you pressed, and it pops the door a little bit. And I swear to God, the Ford approved way to open it is you stick your hand in the jam and pull it open. Now, they say that it has some safety mechanism so you can't then slam the door on your fingers because you're putting your fingers.
Wait. Are you
So-
press the button, but then there's no handle
There's no
after
handle.
that?
So it
Why?
pops it open, and then you stick it in the door jam, in between the
This
bodywork.
isn't real.
I
Come
swear
on.
to God.
You're kidding me.
That's so silly because the front door, like the handle
That's
makes
it.
sense. It
Yeah.
blends in. You don't see it.
Right.
Which is kind of silly because you still
Is
have
that,
a handle.
is that
So why
handle
couldn't you
you
pull
were
it?
looking at there, is that popped?
That the handle
always
doesn't
stays that
move.
way.
Is it
The
permanent-
handle-
is that
it's a-
permanently
it's
popped?
a pull. It is
Okay.
not a hand. So it doesn't
Oh, it's just
flex
a
at all.
fixed pull.
Yeah.
So you press
Oh.
that little button,
Which,
to
all right.
pop it, and then you open it like that.
Well, that's more annoying than it needs to be, but okay.
Well, it should be pre-popped if you pre-popped.
So
one.
basically, so they did the fixed
Why
handle to get rid of the mechanical release of pulling a handle,
Is
right?
this the longest doorknob conversation
I'm-
we've
Yes.
ever
I'm
had? on
really-
this
I'm flabbergasted. This is the stupidest solution.
No, okay.
This didn't
Really
need
no,
ready
but
to move on
the
from this
Are
conversation
you?
about
I'm
Mach-E
super
door
annoyed about
pulls.
this.
Why?
No,
Why
that's
couldn't it
not
just
that
have?
dumb. I don't think.
You
because
don't think that's dumb?
Well,
No,
it's
that's
dumb.
fine.
It's
The back
dumb.
door with nothing is
Why?
dumb.
That's dumb. Yes.
That's very
Wait,
dumb.
because that one's supposed to be automatically pop for you. See, nothing on the back at all. So
And the back doesn't
Right.
automatically pop.
So you press that button in because it won't auto pop.
Right.
And then you jam your hand in between the door and where the door closes. you can see why this might be a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
And then apparently there's some safety system to prevent you from smacking your hand on the door. I don't really know how that works. But yeah, so you just kind of stick your hand directly in the door jamb.
That's
and
so
then if you
stupid.
ever try and get another
Why would
car
they just
again-
hide another handle like right in this trim piece? I mean, maybe it's a structural problem, but they
I
have it
don't
over
get the
here.
impression that Y
Range.
was asked a lot
Yeah.
in the development. of
Because
this
you get a
car.
half a mile of range for not
Yeah.
having a door handle.
Come on, Zach.
It kind of reeks of that gullwing
Range.
door on the Model X, where it was just like everyone was like, "Yes, we can do it."
Has
And
anyone ever
nope.
made a better
Yeah.
door handle than just a normal one that you just pull and then the door
the
opens?
NA Miata has a pretty good door handle.
I mean, I understand flush, but even I'll give Tesla credit where they're due. The Model 3 door handle, where it's pretty flush except for one little nub, and
Yeah.
you push the thumb, and there's the handle, and then
Yeah.
pull.
Right.
Yeah, or the
That
new
works.
911 is a good door handle.
911 too.
911 is
Yeah.
a good door handle, too.
Yeah, it just
I
pops
don't know.
out.
I felt like that was kind of annoying.
Okay.
It wasn't working for me a lot. And then you had to like really dig under there and pull the handle out. Those door handles were kind of shit.
Okay.
Wait, are they
Went from good to kind of shit in a
Fine.
matter of 8
You know what?
seconds.
It seems better than this solution.
Your
It's
editorial
definitely better
staff.
than this. Yeah.
God.
No,
it's like
not
they
having
couldn't
one at
afford the
all.
Falcon Wing doors and
Yeah.
just did something.
You're going to get one of
reeks
these
of
as an
gimmick.
Uber someday. And then the Uber driver, 90% of his job is just going to be explaining, okay, here's how you get in the back.